Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever it is, wherever you are. My name is Andrew Grossett and welcome to the Ask AG show. Right, just for those of you that don't know, this is a show where I'm actually responding live to comments and emails that I've received throughout the course of the time, particularly if I've had an abundance of them which follow a common theme, just so that we can all learn from them, progress forward from them, and yeah, points of discussion. So, this letter in here that I've received in for this week, and I'm going to read it out. It's a bit long, so bear with me. So, because I've been meaning to write into your show for a while now, but haven't found the courage. Partly because my situation fills me with dread and embarrassment, and partly because I know you may know who I am, as we have met personally. Hence the no name at the end of this email. Okay. Basically, my business is slowly going up in flames, and whilst I'm trying my hardest to stop it and turn things around, I cry myself to sleep at night because it's all my fault. I'm very new to this whole self-employed thing, and so I'm learning as I go along. I have a more experienced business partner who cannot help but roll her eyes at me every time I ask her for something that she feels is stupid or obvious. It's got to a point where I no longer ask her anything, and I simply try and figure out myself, as every time we speak my personality gets a beating. I used to be outgoing and have a great relationship with my husband and family. However, now I spend all my time either physically at work or at my laptop when I get home. My husband and I constantly argue, and he's threatened to leave me on a few occasions. Sometimes it all gets so much. I think the world and those that I care about would be better if I wasn't here anymore. I know they call it a coward's way out, but it's genuinely how I feel, especially after why have I got to bail you out again conversation with my business partner. I know it's a little deeper than the videos you put out, so ignore if it's too deep for you to respond to. I just don't know what to do. Okay. There are several elements to this email to deal with, and I'm going to cut straight to the most dark and harrowing one and call the elephant out and call the elephant in the room out. I don't think situations like this can be taken lightly, and by any means I don't think you should be thinking that you're a coward for having dark thoughts. Your situation sounds like you're getting pressures from both a personal level and business, and your own stuff that you're shoveling on your shoulders right about now. I mean, I don't have to imagine how deep and dark that situation is. It's a situation that I have been in. You know, it's a situation that I have lived through and fortunately come out the other side of. Not unscathed, but definitely far knowledgeable in my ways of dealing with things and my way of doing things. So let's cut to the chase here. Although I wouldn't say that it's a coward's way out, but I would say that you're better than choosing that way out. I'd urge you to go back onto the YouTube channel, onto my channel. Take a look at the "Are You Alone in a Crowded Room" video and watch that, because that's exactly where you are. You feel alone right about now because you choose not to reach out to those around you. Whether it be because you're embarrassed, whether it be because you feel that you should be able to handle this, whether you feel that by asking for help you're letting the people around you down. Whatever the reason is as to why you're not reaching out, you need to. That's the voice. That's the enemy. That's the bit you need to abolish and destroy. Because I will put money on it. If you have a family there and you have a husband that is threatening to leave but is not leaving, he's not leaving because he loves you. He's not leaving because he believes in you. He's not leaving because he wants to be there for you. And right about now, the only thing which way I can see that you are being selfish here is by not allowing him to do so. You're not allowing the people around you to love you, but you need to let them in. And I mean that sincerely. I mean that as directly as I can. the picture that you paint as to where you are in this email here is dire, but you're not, your situation is not. And that's why that way is not the way for you to go. You have people around you, you have a support network there, you're just choosing not to use them. And it's a very different circumstance than, them being at the end of your line. And we can forget the martyrdom bit right about now, thinking that your family, as in when you say family, I'm assuming you mean children, so your family will be better off without you. That's absolutely nonsense. Coming from someone that lost their father at a young age, trust me, no child wants to be without their parent through that means of the Grim Reaper turning up at a doorstep. So let's get that completely crystal clear right now. That's not the best. That if you're thinking that by doing that you might be doing them a favor, then trust me, you are not. You are about to open their world up for an inconsolable level of pain for an unimaginable amount of time. So let's get that out the window. If your family means anything to you, you will stick around. As for your business partner, whilst I don't think they can be blamed for the position that they're in, I don't think they have right to blame you. When it comes to business, there are ups and there are downs, and as much as you can possibly try and get your head around the best way of dealing with something and plan for all possible eventualities, shit happens. And when it does, you should have a relationship with your business partner where you're able to communicate and effectively do something about it. And if you can't effectively respond to it because of a breakdown of communication between the two of you, then that's an issue that you need to either sort out or ship out. If you're saying by the sounds of things that the relationship between yourself and your business partner has dissolved to the point where you can't communicate and you can't talk about the things that are going on in this business, and you feel belittled and ridiculed almost as it comes through in this email here from said business partner, then maybe it's time that the two of you weren't business partners. Maybe it's the time that the two of you took a look at this and decided that, you know what, a business partner over there doesn't need that level of disappointment in their life, and you certainly don't need that level of pressure in your life. But again, I would also urge you and ask you really and truly, by the sounds of things, have you voiced this? Have you spoken to your business partner and let them know how you're feeling? Have you spoken to them and gone, you know what, when you roll your eyes at me, it makes me feel this big and I don't like it? A lot of the time when we find ourselves stuck in struggles like the picture that you're painting here, again, you have to be able to self-analyze. You have to take a look at it and go, right, how much of this have I asked for? And I know it's a difficult question to answer. I know it's an even more difficult question to ask yourself, but it's required. Because if you haven't voiced how you're feeling, if you haven't said, I don't like it, if you haven't said, I don't like it, you have inadvertently said, I like it. If you haven't said, I don't want it, you have subconsciously asked for it to happen again and again and again and again. You paint the picture like your business partner is a bully. And I don't think they are. I don't think they are in the slightest. Because I don't think you've actually told her how you feel about her. I don't think you've opened your mouth and said to her, right, you know what, when you talk to me like X, I feel like Z. I don't think you've had that conversation. And you need to. Right about now, you feel all alone because you've got all of this internalized. You're sat there, rocking in a chair in the middle of a dark room, going, oh my God, my life is so crap. This is all so hard, I can't do it. What you need to be doing is explaining the reasons as to why you feel that you can't do it to those around you that can help you influence this. And don't get me wrong, I'm not by any means suggesting that this situation might turn around to be rosy, as in the sense of the business carries on and everybody gets on hunky and dory. Maybe you've reached a juncture in your life where it's now time to part ways. Maybe you've reached a juncture in your life where, you know, you and your business partner, that needs to dissolve. Maybe the business needs to go over to somebody else so that they can move it forward and make a success out of it. Maybe you've reached a point where you have reached what you've achieved, what you needed to learn from that experience, and now that experience and those people need to go by. But you need to take control of your life here. You need to grab hold of the reins and make a decision as to what your future looks like. Because right now, judging by the email that you put in here, you're looking a bit like an emu with your head in the sand, waiting for life to happen to you. If you stick your ass up high enough in the air, someone's going to kick it. So it's about time, you know, you did some kicking of backsides of life for yourself. Where you are, no, I rephrase that. Take some time to sit down and to see this for what it is, but not worse than it is. I repeat this phrase over and over again. I'll tell you where I got it from. I got it from a Tony Robbins video, and it helped me out so much when I was in my dark spot, when I was in my place where I thought that maybe the end was the best way to go about doing it. See it for what it is, not worse than it is. You need to take your imagination out of this scenario and see fact. You need to separate yourself from the emotion. You can't take the emotion out of it, but you need to separate yourself from the emotion so that you can react independently of it. You need to do something about your business partner, you do. And it's whether or not the two of you stay friends or stay as business partners or what have you is a decision that needs to be made. But you need to make that decision before you go into that conversation. Regards to the business, you need to work out whether or not you still love it, whether or not it's still your passion, whether or not it's something you still want to do. If it is, that question will shape how you handle that conversation with said business partner. Your family, in particular your husband, I would urge you, I would plead with you. Go sit down with him this evening and tell him how you feel. For the sake of your marriage, for the sake of your family, for the sake of your sanity. Sit him down, tell him how important it is that you sit down and talk, and let him know what's going on in your head. And don't try and structure it. Let it flow. If you want to cry, then cry. He's your husband, he'll understand. Cry. If you need to shout, shout. But pre-warn him that you're not shouting at him. Keep the blame out of that conversation. When I say the blame, I mean it goes both ways. You're not blaming him for anything, but you're certainly not blaming yourself for anything either. And let it out. And then once you've let it out and the dust is settled and he understands where you are, allow him to ask some questions so he understands a bit more. And then collectively, between the two of you, find a way to support yourselves in order to move forward. Okay, I'm out of time for this week, but the lady who wrote in, thank you so much for sharing, and understand that everything that I'm saying to you here and now in this video here, you have started the process by reaching out. You may not have put your name to it, but you've reached out all the same, so there is congratulations in order directly to you for that, for knowing you needed help and reaching out to make that happen. So congratulations and well done, and thank you for choosing me to share with. We're going to be doing this all again next week, so please drop your comments in, send your emails in. The email address will be floating at the bottom. So it's andrew@andrewgrosset.com. I want to hear from you, so I don't care what the subject is. It could be your mum, your dad, your boyfriend, girlfriend, your husband, wife, cloud running around your shoulder, or children running around your ear, whatever the subject it may be. Let's hear from you. We get a written response back from me in response to any emails that we get in. But you never know. Next week, as a shiny finger used to say, next week it could be you on the show. Anyway, I'm off now. I'm out. I'll go and get another couple of PT sessions down in the gym. So in the meantime, until next week, stay strong, stay focused, and stay safe.